Hey, what's up everybody? OT here. And before we get in this video, I want to just give you guys a huge thank you for all the support lately. The videos have been popping off like way more than I ever could have expected, and I appreciate it so much. If you are new, make sure to hit that sub button. We're closing in on 100 subscribers, and I'm going to be uploading YouTube videos a lot more consistently going forward. We're talking like 4 or 5 times a week. I'm really trying to grind on YouTube, just lock in, focus on this. So if you are new, make sure to subscribe for more content in the future. So about a week or two ago, I made a hitting tips video. I actually made 2 hitting tips videos, and they were pretty popular. You know, people really like them. So I want to try to bring you guys a pitching tips video, because I know a lot of people struggle with pitching in this game, and I feel like I am able to pitch better than most. So looking at the lifetime leaderboards, you'll see I have a 5.53 ERA, which obviously does not sound great. But when you look at the leaderboards, you can see that that's pretty above average compared to most people. I would say it's definitely pretty good compared to what other people are at. So to start this video, I'm gonna go into custom practice and just explain a couple of things, and then at the end I'm gonna have some highlights, like some in-game highlights, and I'm gonna talk over them and explain some things to you guys. Alright, so hitting tips is a lot easier to go over because, you know, hitting is more of a direct science, where pitching is more, you know, it's more based on what your opponent is showing you. Like hitting, all you have to do is get the PCI on the ball with either early timing, good timing, whatever, and, you know, you'll get rewarded most of the time. With pitching, you know, you can throw a perfect dot and it can still get hit out. Like I could throw a sinker right here and someone could still hit it for a perfect homer to left. So when you're pitching, you really have to focus on what your opponent is showing you at the plate. I'll be able to showcase that more when I show you guys some just gameplay clips from online, because the CPU isn't going to swing the same way that people swing online. But I will be able to show you guys what I look to do for pitch tunneling and pitch sequencing. When it comes to pitching, sequencing and tunneling is really the biggest thing, just keeping your opponent off balance. So these are the settings I use for pitching. I use pure analog, strike zone cam. I just think it's the easiest, it's the most zoomed in, so you can see exactly where the ball is the best. I use pitch trail on. I used to use classic on. They're both good, but really pitching just comes down to whatever you're comfortable with and whatever helps you locate the best. So when you're pitching, you want to really pay attention to the kind of swings your opponent's giving you and go from there. So let's say we throw a sinker up and in here, get our spot pretty well, he takes it for a strike. That's pretty similar to online. A lot of people take that pitch because it's pretty hard to turn on. Then maybe you double up on that pitch, see if he bites on it. It's a good take. And you can spam this pitch a little, see if he'll prove that he can turn on it. Then maybe you spam that a couple times. Now you want to throw this cutter up and away off of the high sinker, and that's what will happen a lot online. You'll get a lot of weak contact on that. You've got them thinking about the high sinker, you throw a cutter up, it starts kind of over the middle and then it just jumps this way, where the sinker starts over the middle and jumps this way. So that's an example of a pitch tunnel. You know, you're really throwing one pitch off another pitch. Another thing I will say is when you're pitching, you want to make sure you're using pitchers with good per nines and good pitches. So the best pitchers in the game, I would say, is cutter's definitely the best pitch, sinker's probably number 2. After that, you know, I would say a good 4-seam is up there as a good option. A good changeup can be a nasty pitch. Some guys have really good slurves and sliders. It really just depends on the pitcher. The one pitch that I would say almost never works out too well is the curveball, whether it's a 12-6, curve, sweep, whatever. Normally that pitch is really easy to read and it'll get hit pretty hard. So I would avoid throwing curveballs at almost all costs. So here we'll show Mantle. Let's say you start him off with the sinker away, want to see where his bat's at, see if he is late on that or if he's out in front. Takes it, maybe double up on that, see if you can get him to swing. There, he's out in front of a sinker. So in a real game, if someone was out in front of a sinker away, there's a couple options you can go. It depends on how your opponent's been swinging. So if you think their bat is just super fast, you could go with a change up away. And then you see the bat is still fast. But other times, if someone swings super quick on a pitch outside, it might get them to think that you're going to come with an off speed because they were just super quick on a fastball. So then you can maybe freeze them with a fastball in. So you get a late swing like that. So just to reiterate, the biggest thing is just throwing pitches off each other. So whether it's a sinker off a cutter, a changeup off a sinker or fastball, a slider away off of a fastball up in here, maybe a slider here will work really well off that pitch. Maybe throw a changeup here off that sinker, cutter here, cutter away off that pitch. You really just want to make sure that you're not getting too predictable with your pitches. You're not throwing the same thing over and over, and you're kind of outsmarting the hitter. Another good tunnel, I'm sure most people know about this, is the cutter off the four seam. There's a couple guys that have this, notably Rob Dibble and Kerry Wood. Say you bust a four seam there in the upper 90s, low 100s, then you can throw like a low 90s cutter off that pitch to get them out in front. That's probably one of the deadliest combos in the game, is a fastball with a lot of velo, upper 90s to up to 102, with a cutter in the low 90s that you can play off that, because when people are gearing up for the fastball, the cutter looks almost exactly the same out of the hand, and it's super difficult to wait back for. Now when it comes to the mechanics of pitching, whereas we're talking about hitting your spots, I have a couple of tricks for that as well. So one thing that I like to think of as far as timing, if you have trouble getting good release on your pitches, almost every pitcher in the game has either a 1 second release, well, I would only be out of like the stretch, but either a 1 second release, a 2, a 3, or a 4. So if you watch Dibble here, he's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's pretty easy to time up with that if you just count the seconds. Everyone will have either a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4. I think that's a way where you can help get your timing down for your pitches. When it comes to locating your pitches and hitting the circle on the plate, I just like to be really smooth with it. I don't like to rush pitches. I like to just be really loose with the stick, be gentle, just really focus on the pitch I'm throwing to avoid throwing pitches down the middle like that. Because if you're not really paying attention, you're just rushing through your pitches, whatever, then you throw a pitch like this, you completely miss. Like, that should never happen. Like, if you're focusing in on your pitches, you should at least be missing to the side of the plate that you're aiming for. You should never be missing like to the opposite side. So if you're having trouble locating with your pitchers, something I highly recommend is throwing balls towards where they break. It's a lot easier to command pitches when you throw them towards where they break. So for example, if you're throwing a sinker, you would want to throw it away because it's breaking away, so it's an easier spot to locate. And if you miss, you're not likely to miss as bad. Same with a cutter. You want to run it glove side because that's what it's breaking towards. You know, if you try to throw this backdoor cutter, it's a lot harder to locate than a cutter in, because even if you miss with this cutter in, it's likely, okay, that one was really bad, but even if you miss with your pitch and you're throwing it towards where it breaks, you're less likely to hang it than if you're trying to, you know, get cute and like backdoor a pitch or something like that. But as I've said, you know, pitching in this game is really hard. It's hard to hit your spots. The timing windows are really big now. I mean, it doesn't matter what they hit, it's the CPU. But the biggest way to succeed pitching is just keeping hitters off balance. And to do that, you just want to mix up your pitches a lot. You don't want to show hitters the same thing over and over. A lot of people subconsciously, they get in the same routine. They'll start sinker in, then go cutter away, change up down, curveball, sinker up again, you know. They fall into the same pattern over and over just because they're not really thinking about what they're doing pitching. And if you really want to be a good pitcher, you have to put just as much effort into your pitching as you do when you're hitting. You have to lock in just as much, pay attention to the swings your opponent's giving, and just, you know, lock in. I know pitching in this game can be really hard. I tried to best explain what my mindset is when I'm pitching, but obviously I'm sure that there's things that I missed or forgot to cover. So if you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comment section below. I do read every comment, obviously, and respond to all of them if there's a question involved. So feel free to ask if you have any questions about anything, and I'll try my best to help you out and see if we can improve your gameplay. I do appreciate everyone for watching. The support lately has been amazing. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.